Drama in the dirt, where shit gets messy, shit gets real, and we talk about the things you don't want to talk about at brunch. So buckle up, bitches. Here we go. What's up, Dirt fam? Welcome back to my podcast with yours truly, as always, Michelle. This week, I wanted to talk about something that just doesn't get talked about. Okay, I want to talk about, like when you're on Facebook, you see these posts about all these deadbeat dads, or like you'll see on social media everything about deadbeat dads. But something you don't see people talk about is the deadbeat moms because they exist, they are there, they're just as bad and just as common as deadbeat dads. And I seriously think it should be something talked about because usually when you think about it, if you're not familiar that it's just as common for a mom to be absent as the father, a lot of people think like, oh, well, every kid has their mom, they're fine. Like every kid has that stability. No, every kid does not have that stability. I want to talk about the moms where you will literally catch them all the time without their kid or kids, but you will not catch them without a boyfriend. Okay. I want to talk about the moms who care more about, who they're with and their social life and having somebody to basically sleep with all the time over caring about their child or children and wanting to be there for them like a parent should. Deadbeat moms aren't always completely absent. Like some moms think, oh, it's fine if I see my kid once a month. At least I see them. Like, no, that is not okay. A lot of these deadbeat moms, people don't even realize they're deadbeat parents because they are completely, kid oriented and everything on social media or like post about their kids like they see them all the time. But then in reality, they're only showing up when it makes them look good. So for birthdays or like sports or stuff like that, something where there's going to be other people and they're going to expect that mom to be there, so she is going to come. Not there for her child when they are sick, not there when they're going through a hard time at school, hard time in general. The ones that just are not there. And to those moms that only show up when it's convenient for them or their social calendar, you're not even really showing up. Like, yeah, I'm sure your child is excited to see you, but it's probably because they love you so much and don't understand why your relationship with them is non existent. They probably sit and blame themselves or think there's something wrong with themselves as children because they don't understand that some parents just make this awful decision and some parents put their own needs before their child's. And of course, that's not every parent, but some parents are like that. And it honestly, it breaks my heart to see kids that don't have their moms the way they should or their dads the way they should. And I don't think the parents realize how much trauma that gives the child. It literally makes the child resentful. It I'm not saying the child is going to hate the parent that disappears, but I am going to say that as they get older, they're only understanding it more and more and realizing it's not them, it's the parent. And that is what causes the resentment because if you couldn't be there for your child when they were younger and could have, needed you, then why are you all of a sudden showing up like a couple years later when things are easier and there's not as much responsibility or taking care of the child? I don't even know what to call it, honestly, when a parent is like absent from their kid's life or only intervenes when it's convenient for them. I don't understand if it's them being selfish. I don't understand if it's immaturity or if it's something deeper than that. I think in a lot of situations it can be different reasons, but I really would love to get to the root of that because I don't understand. Because then you have things that come around like Mother's Day. And I'm sorry, but as an absent mother, are you going to sit there and expect your child to get you something because it's Mother's Day? Or are you going to understand the factor that you don't really have a relationship with your child? Like you literally are just the come and go mom. You exist to them at, special moments in their life, like for birthdays or like sports or whatever, whenever it's convenient for you. But when it comes to them being hurt or needing like the attention or needing their just parent in general and you're not there, are you still expecting when Mother's Day comes around to get flowers or a card that tells them how much they love you? Because I'm sorry, as a mom, if I neglected my children, I would not expect them to even think about me on Mother's Day. I really would not. Or like when the come and go parent, I am talking about moms at this point. Like it's just, we all know about the deadbeat dads. I want to intervene with deadbeat moms. Or when like the deadbeat moms make plans with their kids and then all of a sudden something better comes up that sounds more fun, so they cancel on their child. What kind of human being would even do that? I would never, ever be able to do that. You literally, like, as a dead meat mom, you literally teach your child to stop expecting consistency. And I think that's the saddest part because your child shouldn't have to worry about that. Your child shouldn't have to wonder when you're going to come around or when you're going to associate with them again or act like they exist. Your child shouldn't have to not want you around. And don't get me wrong, sure, when a deadbeat mom comes around their child, they are really excited to see them. They are going to, like, give hugs and love yous and do want to do stuff with them. But like my kids do not get super excited to see me. They see me every day. So like when they see me, they're like, "Oh, hey mom," or like whatever. Or if they had a tough day at school, they do get excited when they run off the bus to me. But if your child is that excited and that attached to you when you're going and seeing them, then maybe you should clue in. Are you going to see them enough? Are you paying enough attention to them? Are you supporting them the way a parent should? And if you are in the first place, do not even have your children, then there was obviously something going on in the first place. And that should have been your first idea to better yourself and connect with your kids and, become the best mom you can be. Don't get me wrong, being a mom is hard. It is a learning experience every day. But being inconsistent hurts way more than being imperfect. If you are a mom that spends quality time with your children all the time and you have imperfections, that's fine. Your child is going to love you because you are there constantly. You are there for them when they need you, and you are there during the hard times and the good times. But if you are just being inconsistent, your child is never going to know when they can rely on you. I just want to put it out there. Talking about this stuff isn't about mom shaming. It's about taking accountability for what you are doing to your child or children. I had a mom message in and talk about this, and this is kind of why I'm bringing this all up. The mom basically messaged in and stated like she does have her own kids, but she's also like a stepmom, and the mom of the stepchild is not really involved unless it's convenient for her. And this stepmom tries her best. She tries to be there all the time. Like she tries to be there when she can and balance, make sure all the kids know that she loves them the same, that there's no more loving the one more than the other, blah, blah, blah. And she's basically taking on the mom role, kind of, because it breaks her heart that that child is, well, basically has an inconsistent mom, a deadbeat mom. And the things that she talked about in the big thing that she sent me, it was huge, were honestly heart wrenching to me because I have a stepson and I love him just as much as my two children that live with me. And he knows when he comes over, he is treated the exact same as them. He is loved just the same. We do not treat him any different. We love him and we tell him we love him. And we try to show up for anything and everything we can. We don't get told about everything, so we don't get to show up for all of it. But it's when we are told about something or we know something is coming, we make sure we go. And we do try to have, him over every weekend. We like to spend time with him. We like to have him with the kids. It's important for them to, be siblings and have a relationship. But I also want him to know, too, that we love him. We're always going to be here no matter what. And we're, um, he called me Shell. So like Shell and Daddy are two people he can always count on. Like we will always be there. And that's important to me to know, like for him to know that just because I am not your biological mom doesn't mean I will not be there for you. It does not mean I will only be there for like your brother and sister that live with us. You are just as included as them. But that's also where I could somewhat relate to this other mom that sent me a big message, is because like it kind of was a similar situation. Like she not it really, but that's where I could relate to the mom that sent me the message is like I am technically a stepmom too. Do I make him call me mom? Of course not. Do I make him call me a stepmom? Of course not. He calls me Shell because that's what he's comfortable calling me, and I am completely okay with that. It wouldn't matter if he called me mom, stepmom, Michelle, Shell, or hey you. It does not matter. It does not change how much I love him, and it does not change how I look at him at all. But I think the hardest thing about being a step parent is learning to exist in the child's life without overstepping. Like me and this mom that messaged me, we related in a lot of ways this way because same thing. Like I came around my stepson when he was still in diapers. Like he is 11 years old now. He was still in diapers. He loved Backyardigans. He loved Paw Patrol. We went through Thomas the Trains together. And every time I come over, for the longest time, like he was a little shy with me. But then every time I come over, he knew we were going to play with something. And he was always excited. And it made me feel really happy because it wasn't the fact that I wanted to be his mom or wanted him to start calling me mom, but the fact that watching him grow up honestly melted my heart. And although we are not there every day with him, it makes me happy to know that we have stayed as consistent as possible in his life, and we have, put it out there and made it known that he can come to us about anything. Like he is well loved, we love him, and we will always treat him the same as our other two children, and that's just how it is. But to do all of this and not feel like I'm stepping on toes was very, very difficult. I did not want anybody thinking that I was trying to replace his mom. I did not want anybody thinking that I was trying to make him like resent his mom in any way. That is not what was going on, and that was not my intentions at all. I just knew that I was going to be with his dad for the rest of my breathing life because we fell head over heels, and that was about it. And I just knew that it was one of the most important things for me to make sure I had a solid relationship with him and he knew that he could be comfortable around me. I did not want it to be like awkward. I did not want him to feel uncomfortable, and I didn't want him to feel like he was stepping on eggshells if he came over. I wanted him to be, you know, just completely neutral. This young boy, okay, when he was little, still in diapers, he used to run around saying he wanted to marry me because we spent a lot of time together. And it melted my heart. The fact that he just adored me so much that he was young and just wanted to marry me. And I thought it was so cute. We'd go for walks. He'd pick me dandelions because they were beautiful flowers. And he just wanted to give me something. And it made me feel like my goal of making him feel comfortable and making him like understand so young that he could like be around me and be comfortable and have fun and that I'm okay and I'm not going to hurt him or anything. That was important that like, those certain things showed me. It was like really setting in realization that okay, this young guy knows that I love him and I'm going to be around for a long time. Now, when I first met him, I didn't have my own children, and it was very hard at first when I first had my kids because I had, a young infant. I couldn't, when I come out, I couldn't just sit and play with them the whole time. Like I had to feed his sibling and blah, blah, blah. And so I will say that that is when he did not want to marry me anymore. Like I came with baggage. He was like, I don't want to marry her, but that was fine. Completely fine. We just had to learn a new balance where I could do my job as a mom to my newborn baby, but I could still be there for him and, let him know that he is just as important. Meeting him before I had my own children, though, made me honestly beyond thankful. He made me softer, stronger, and way more patient. And I couldn't be any more thankful to him because it was really important to me. And I just hope that, there's the little things that he remembers when he gets older and he can hold on to those memories also. And I hope I can teach him, like, good life lessons and goals as he grows up as well. Like I said, we don't always get told or informed about everything that's going on in his life, like his accomplishments coming up or anything like that. Like if it is brought up, fantastic, we get to be there. If not, then we at least get to hear about it afterwards and congratulate him. But being there and around for his accomplishments, even his bad days, it's something I will honestly never take for granted. Because everybody tells you this, but one day kids grow up and they just don't want their parents around. It's just the way it is. And Even though I'm not his mom, I'm still with his dad. So he is going to one day be not wanting to hang out with us and not wanting to do the little things with us. And um, it's important that right now we're there as much as possible and we get to support him as much as possible. Even though we do have the two other children, and don't get me wrong, life gets hectic sometimes. Sometimes something will come up and we can't be there. And to be honest, like when we're sick and stuff, we don't go because we don't want to get him sick. But being there for him as long as we can, like if we're not sick or something, is number one. We will always put all three of the children number one before anything. It does not matter. If we get told that, he has a baseball game, we're going to be there to support him. If he doesn't hit a ball the whole time, so fucking what? At least he tried. If he, if he doesn't even realize that we're there and, doesn't get to say anything to us before we have to head home, that's fine. We were there. We were there to support if he needed us. And just because he didn't end up needing us does not mean that he won't, realize or remember that we were there. When he looks back when he is an adult, I just hope he knows how much, everybody loved him and supported him and how thankful everybody was to have him. He is the sweetest, cutest young boy. And I am so, so beyond thankful that I get to be a part of his life. Because although I didn't give him life, he gave a whole new purpose to mine. But anyways, we got totally off topic during this podcast. I did get out all my main points I wanted to about being I'm just going to say piece of shit mom, basically. But honestly, if you are listening to this and you realize, well, shit, I'm that piece of shit mom, fucking do something about it. It is never too fucking late. Even if your child resents you because you haven't been around and you haven't showed up, turn things around. Be there for them because they will remember, they will appreciate it, and it's never too late to try to build a relationship. But you need to also understand that you need to work at their pace, not them work at yours. They do not need to do that because you only came around when it was convenient for you. You were putting yourself first, and now it is time to put them first. It breaks my heart that children are out there without their parents because some parents just don't care. But that does not mean that that child or the children will not have people in their life that care about them and love them. Before I end this podcast, I wanted to ask, has anybody else been watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? It's on Disney Plus. I watched the first season. The second season just came out. And holy fucking drama. Okay. I loved Demi the first season. I thought she was absolutely fantastic. I also really like Taylor because she's just real. She'll just tell you how it is. And if you don't like it, well, that's your problem. Like she's just being honest. But watching the second season, Demi is slowly working her way down the totem pole. She is, I don't even know. She's all about drama this season. She's all about this being the center of attention, and she thinks that literally the show should revolve around her. And I don't get it. Is she beautiful? Yes. Is she a major part of the show? Yes. But so are some of the other girls. Most of the other girls, except for like Whitney. I don't like Whitney. I don't think I'll ever get to a point where I like her. But yeah, I'm just my totem pole of where they are just rearranging and it's crazy. But anyways, I will leave the podcast off there. Yeah, like I said, I hope if you are a piece of shit mom, you take my advice. And if you don't, then honestly, I don't feel sorry for you because it is not the child's fault. And I don't think anybody should ever blame the kid for the parents' mistakes. Okay, until next time.